Zillow is still great. Who doesn't love Zillow? About a year ago, we took a look at 10 very unique, very special homes for sale listed on the site, and I figure the market has evolved since then, for better or for worse. And because Zillow is the gift that keeps on giving, let us make this an annual tradition to bring in the new year. So without further ado, let us take a look inside the top 10 craziest, most bizarre homes on Zillow for 2026. Starting with Number 10, The Domicile. We begin our journey in the small city of Kalamazoo, Michigan, where for $1.3 million you can live in this globular cluster of concrete and fiberglass. Officially named The Domicile, this custom home consists of 7 domes that span across over 6,300 square feet with 3 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Heading inside, we can see how the different domes help segment this house up. Here we are in the spacious living room, plenty of natural light thanks to these large windows and the skylights on the roof. Moving into a different dome, we have our kitchen here. Not too fancy, it's got the essentials. Here is our big old primary bedroom. Of course, it gets its own dome as well, along with its bathroom. Half tile, half carpet. Good thing it's not full carpet. We were teetering on the brink of insanity there, but we're okay. I think there's enough tile here to prevent any serious sanitation issues. Overall, the interior of the domicile is actually fairly normal and cozy. It's nice. Which is why it's only number 10 on the list. It's a home I think most of us would actually be fine living in if we had $1.3 million to spare. But what if you have about 10 times that amount of money to burn, and you want to live in something that's not just unique on the outside, but on the inside as well? Number 9, the Falkenstein Castle. We're moving now to Burnett, Texas, because for some reason, Texas seems to be a hub for contemporary built castles. And for $14 million and covering 14,000 square feet, this is one of the largest castles currently for sale in the state. Inspired by romantic Bavarian castles on the exterior and the inside as well, for better or for worse, this is what we call commitment. And it's admirable. From the stone floors and stained glass windows to this giant wooden altar and the drop ceiling that we will ignore, this home has multiple wide open spaces for entertaining large parties of Renaissance fairgoers. There are also some spacious family living quarters consisting of 7 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. And just look at the primary shower. You have a rainfall shower head, you have benches for 2, and just look at that view. There is no property within miles of this that can compare to the views you get from the upper floor windows and balconies. And if you look closely from up here, you can even see these 6 tiny homes that also come included with the castle. Yes, you heard that right, it's a bargain. That makes this sale 7 homes for the price of 1. It's a pretty big price, but it's a pretty big property. You also get 110 acres of land here, so there's not too much room to complain. Number 8, the all-inclusive. Let's hop on over to Gilbert, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix, to the most awesome home on the market. If you have $20 million to spend on a mega mansion, this is probably the best way to do it. Yes, that is a go-kart track, which we'll get to in just a sec, don't you worry. This 7-bed, 9-bath complex spans over 24,000 square feet and is packed with everything an 11-year-old boy would want in their dream mansion. We have the winding go-kart track with a dedicated garage and charging station, and we have an entire sports complex building with virtual driving range, immersive gaming circle, and an indoor shooting range. We haven't even entered the main house yet, but before we do, let's stop on by the canopy-covered basketball court and take a dip in the backyard pool. Finally, heading inside, the home goes for a modern, rustic, somewhat industrial look. Some highlights include the spa section with massage room and custom-built sauna. We have this walk-in closet with a TV screen, why not? And of course, looks like this is the man's closet, so we also need a dedicated urinal. No closet's complete without it. And what about the woman of the house? She needs a walk-in closet too. One that is 2 stories with its own balcony, because why not? Of course, we also need a theater room. We could probably spend the entire video on just this one property, but we need to move on at some point. So we'll have to wrap it up here, but I'll leave a link to this listing in the description if you'd like to flip through all of the photos and take a closer look. Number 7. The Brutalist Bachelor Pad. Time for something a little bit smaller and more practical as we move out to rural Mountain Center, California. I hope you like concrete because this 1,300 square foot structure has a lot of it. It is brutalist architecture at its finest, with concrete walls and concrete floors, but some nice wood-beamed ceilings to warm things up a bit, and plenty of windows to help bring in natural light. The whole living quarters is pretty much one big long room. The listing calls this house a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, but it's more of a studio, really. I'll show you. Let's walk around the whole narrow layout, starting at one end with the kitchen, and then we back up into the dining area, and then into the living area with the couch and chairs where we flip around. And now we can see our bedroom nook. Let's get a bit closer here. It's nice and quaint with an AC unit blowing right into your face as you sleep. And the fatal flaw here of a barn door on the bathroom. Yes, in case you don't know, you never really want to put a sliding barn door over a bathroom, as they don't tend to create a great seal against the wall, allowing all sorts of smells and sounds especially to escape. Just imagine the reverb off the walls as well. The bathroom door here is also clear glass. That's also maybe another flaw, but at least the toilet itself is tucked away in a separate nook. So yeah, this home is clearly meant for either one person or maybe a couple living together, so privacy may not be too big of a concern for potential buyers. Oh! That is a concern though. Why in the world is there an $83 a month HOA fee? Are we not in the middle of the desert? Looking at the satellite view of the area, we are in kind of a tiny little neighborhood thing, I guess. But what could all that HOA money be going towards? What, do they take care of the lawn for you? Does someone come around twice a month to cut your sand for you? Who knows? As small as the home is, it's on the market for just under $1.3 million, so if you can afford this, the HOA fee is probably not too big of a deterrent. Number 6. The Water Tower. Staying in California, we're heading to the coastal town of Surfside, where originally constructed in the 1800s, this converted water tower stands high above the rest of the area. At nearly 100 feet tall, the water tower just may be the tallest home currently for sale. There is a small ground floor suite with a garage, but let's hop on into the elevator because we're more interested in the tower portion itself. This home has 4 bedrooms, some smaller than others, and 4 bathrooms, this one being the best, with walls clad in mirrors so you can sit down and watch yourself do your business in the round. Looking at the kitchen, it's small but a decent layout for such an odd round structure. At just over 2,800 square feet, this home actually has some pretty decent sized living areas. A big selling point is this top level, which is a nice hangout spot with 360-degree views. It's a sort of combination bar and observation deck. Actually, not sure if it's a good idea to combine those two things together, but hey, if you get too crunk and end up falling out of a window, at least you'll probably land on and be saved by the lower deck. It's just like one of those drunk people nests that they have at Topgolf. If you purchase this home, you may live in it yourself, but more likely this home is meant to be a sort of Vrbo or Airbnb rental that can probably get some business due to its uniqueness. And it better get some good business because the current owners are asking $5.5 million for this thing. Holy cow. I think most of us like the idea of this home, but for that price, it is a little out of reach. So let's change targets here. I've got us a comparable home on the other side of the country, located on the coast of Reedville, Virginia. Actually, it's located just off the coast of Reedville, Virginia, 2.5 miles offshore, just a stone's throw away from civilization and safety, and on the market for $450,000. Finally, something more reasonable. Now we are talking. Just like the last home, this 1897 converted lighthouse holds 4 bedrooms, but only 1 bathroom. Thank you, realtor, for the incredible photos. But in reality, you don't really need more than one bathroom here, do you? If the one single toilet, the only head in the house is occupied, but the rest of your family of sailors is in need of another place to do their business, just get a couple of these bad boys and attach them around the balcony. That way everybody can do their business. You're plenty far away from shore, I'm sure no one will notice. The actual interior of the home is pretty basic. A little bit of coastal styling and nautical theming in the kitchen here, and the dining area. And here we have our living room where you can sit and fight over whose turn it is to go into land and gather rations for the family. Yeah, I'm not sure this home has the same sort of Airbnb potential as the last. In fact, just getting to this structure would be a trick. The water looks a little choppy even on this calm sunny day, and docking a boat and climbing this ladder up to your home might not be the lifestyle for everybody, but hey, at least it's a bargain. I think. Number 4. The Maximalist Mansion. We are heading to the coast of Boca Raton, Florida, where our price range goes back up to a modest $22 million. But this is another big one. At over 12,000 square feet, this mansion averages out to about $1,700 a square foot. And not a single one of those square feet is spared. Oh yes. Is this AI-generated art on the walls here? Who knows? We'll just ignore that and instead turn our attention to the front entrance. This is what they call in the industry a wow factor. A custom swirly slide in the foyer. This is the kind of house I imagine the guys from Big Time Rush building if they got old and went gauche. This home boasts a whopping 12 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms, each one having its own theme ranging from peacock for this larger adult suite to this equestrian themed room with a bunk bed slide for the kids. We also have this Japanese themed sitting area with a geisha peeping at us from the elevator door, along with multiple dining rooms. Here is the formal one with the theme of dragons, I believe. And then we have the informal dining room with a Viking warship table that better come with the sale of the property because this is awesome. Moving outside, we can see the ample patio space that looks out onto your custom heated fish pool, with a hot tub in the tail, of course. Yes sir, inside and out, this house might be a little eclectic or tacky depending on who you ask. There is genuinely only one area in the house that resembles any form of normalcy, and that is the sauna. So if you need a break from the stimulation, then you have a nice, humid, warm area to get away from it all. This being the south coast of Florida, I'm not sure how desirable a sauna is, but it's better to have it and not need it than to not have it at all. I'm pretty sure you're gonna need it. Number 3. The Prepper's Paradise. Here's one for the doomers out there. Now flying over to Allen, Kansas to this 23-acre doomsday bunker compound. There are 2 large structures in this sale, the first being this large Quonset hut, which has been partially converted to livable space. This little tower on the back of the structure holds the only bedroom. I like the yellow pop of color on the industrial railing and the ladder to your roof. There's also a small kitchen in this building, but let's hop on over to the main attraction. This massive subterranean concrete bunker. If I were a realtor, I'd say this property has potential, able to be converted to a large open concept living space with luxurious double height ceilings. It looks like the current owner started construction on something, but it's going to be up to you to finish it. For such a massive property, the current asking price of $700,000 doesn't seem too far-fetched. There are a few concerns the buyer may have, such as what would it cost to actually build more livable space, what kind of maintenance is required on such a massive concrete structure, and how many dehumidifiers would you have to run 24/7 to suck out all of the moisture from the air and prevent mold from growing everywhere. Looking at the ground in some of these photos, moisture does seem to be a small issue, but all of these concerns, they're just minor things, aren't they? They are a small price to pay for nuclear safety, I suppose. Number 2. The Underground House. Big ol' jump now over to Las Vegas, Nevada, where just off the strip, lies this fairly normal two-story suburban home. Nothing too fancy. The home was built in 1978 and includes an ample 5 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms across its 17,000 square foot layout. I have a feeling that is a typo on the listing. 17,000 square feet, that'd be even bigger than the giant bunker we just looked at. Yes, there is no shot this home is actually that large unless there is some hidden unsuspecting door somewhere that happens to go down into a secret nuclear fallout shelter. Actually, this might be one. Okay, now we are talking. We are cooking with this liminal space stroke 70s time capsule. You might actually be familiar with this home as it has been featured to death across several YouTube channels, but it's actually on the market for sale right now for $8.5 million. Taking a look at the exterior of the interior of the bunker, we have an in-ground pool with support beams sculpted into trees. Green grass carpet flows throughout the space, whose walls are covered in these hand-painted murals. The interior of the underground house, again, it is a 70s time capsule, especially with the floral wallpaper and this furniture. This theme is continued into the master bathroom with the carpeted jacuzzi, my man, and the mirrors covering the walls and even the ceiling. If you're not really into that, then this other bathroom here is a little more modest if you ignore the high pile carpet. And the overall home is actually pretty nice, especially with these vaulted ceilings and built-in cabinets. Okay, clearly the underground house, it is meant to be a sort of long-term doomsday bunker. Located 26 feet below the surface of the earth, it can provide comfortable, luxurious shelter for a large family. There is plenty of space for entertaining both inside and outside of the underground house, although again, the outside does give off some kind of liminal space vibes. In fact, let's just take a photo. Let's try this photo here. Let's take this into Photoshop, crop in, just put a Dutch tilt on it, play with the color and some filters, and there we go. Home sweet home. If you want to learn more about this house, there are plenty of YouTube tours you can watch. One of the most thorough is this one from Days with Jordan the Lion here on YouTube. I'll leave a link to this video in the description if you'd like to check it out, or if you'd like to actually experience the home for yourself. It even has its own website where you can request a tour. Not sure how much that would cost, and I'm not planning to go to Vegas anytime soon, so good luck if you want to do that. Number 1. The White House. Our journey comes to an end in Atlanta, Georgia, where for just $35 million you can own the White House. I told you, it's the White House. It is what it says on the tin. This 2.5 acre complex actually comes with 2 structures totaling over 20,000 square feet of living space. Here we have both of them from a bird's eye view. Starting with this one on the bottom, it is just a normal mansion with a lime green Lambo out back and an interior that is kind of expected, pretty normal for a contemporary high-end home. But we don't want to focus on this. We want to go to our main event, which is up here. Officially named the Atlanta White House, this home is a recreation of the central residential portion of the real White House in Washington, D.C. Slightly smaller than the original at about 2/3 scale, it is still an impressive home with an interior that aims to mimic the general style of the real thing. It was built in 2001, so it lacks some of the recent gilded renovations, but the commitment here is still very admirable. You enter through the foyer, very open and with this custom ceiling mural. Then if we go back to the bottom of the staircase, we can turn left, of course, into the Oval Office. Again, it's a bit smaller than the real thing, but it definitely gets the job done with nice attention to detail. Much of this house is actually surprisingly practical. The whole property has 6 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms. The bedrooms in the White House itself are very spacious. I guarantee this primary here is bigger than your bedroom. I actually think it's bigger than my house. And we of course need a movie theater with seating for 15. I'd say that's adequate. And then much of the rest of the home, it is just wide open space for entertaining. Here we have one of the larger rooms of the house, which I'm assuming is meant to be the ballroom. The back of the home features ample patio space with double helical staircases that lead out into the backyard pool, complete with hot tub and a full outdoor kitchen. It is an impressive piece of residential architecture, but believe it or not, is not the only White House replica mansion in the US. Another one, located in California, actually sold in 2024 for $23 million. However, the interior of that one was a little more safe and contemporary, but I think a sort of pride comes with sticking with the White House theming all the way through, so we'll see if that strategy pays off for the Atlanta White House, and we'll see if the current owners can get anything near their $35 million asking price. So there you have it, a look inside some of the strangest homes on the market for 2026. As I said at the start of the video, I plan on making this an annual tradition, but if you can't wait a whole year for another batch of homes to look at, I have gone ahead and made a supplementary video to this one that you can watch that features some of the runner-up homes that just didn't quite make the list today. Do not expect the same sort of production quality in that video as this one. This one took like 40 hours to make and that one took about 40 minutes, but it's there if you want to watch an extra 10 minutes of me blabbering on about weird houses. If I did this correct in the YouTube editor, there should be a place on screen somewhere to click that if you want to.